Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talking with me, Tripp Crosby, podcaster, video content creator, guy always searching for the next thing, family man, suburban dad, and friend. So happy to be here with you today. Also so happy about the guest on this episode. He is a longtime friend. When I say this, I mean this. He's the most creative person I know. His name's Jeremy Cowart. He's a world-famous photographer. World famous. He's got stuff hanging in Europe with Ansel Adams and who are the other famous photographers? The three or four famous photographers that you even know, he's got stuff on a wall shared with them. And he's also just this Renaissance entrepreneur guy who has started incredibly successful ventures, is launching a new one that we'll talk about. But the thing about Jeremy that I've always connected with is it's a really specific thing about myself and him. It's our absent-mindedness. Like, people told us forever that we should meet, and we were in LA at the same time, probably a decade or more ago. And so we went to dinner, and we didn't talk about creating stuff. We talked about all the dumb shit that we do, being so left-brained. See, I don't even remember which one it is. It's right or left. It's the one that does absent-minded things. And we share some of those. It's hilarious. But anyway, I was in Nashville a few months ago where he lives. I went and visited his very cool studio. We sat down, we had a conversation, but it was late. This was a tough episode because I'm not a late night guy, and I had just gotten off stage at a corporate event, as you'll see by the way that I'm dressed. But we made the most of it. It was a good conversation. I hope you enjoy it. As always, thankful for my soon to officially be my sponsor. Easily the most consistently used consumer product in my life. And I can't believe that it's here. It's happening. They're going to be a sponsor. And I'm going to get to tell you who they are and what I do with their product and what you should do with their product. And it will be so authentic and sincere because I sought them out. I discovered them and I became a fan, a user, and thought there's no one else I'd rather sponsor my podcast than this brand. I don't even know if they do this. And they don't, by the way. They're like, oh, we don't really sponsor podcasts. I'm like, okay, but here, anyway, we'll talk more about it in the upcoming episode. For now, Mr. Jeremy Cowart. I haven't seen you in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And
I look older, you look the same. So congrats on that.
No, that is not true.
That is true.
But this is also, here's one thing that is true. This is why I wanted you on the podcast. I'm going to let you do most of the talking, but I just want to make it clear that the first time I met you, what I realized was, at first glance, we seem pretty different. I mean, look at us. Not that I'm always, I just hosted a corporate event, so I'm not like, you guys know me well enough. I don't do this often. But even so, at first glance, you do all this amazing visual art. I do silly things on the internet. But we had dinner that one time, and we realized, oh, we have some pretty funny things in common.
We do.
Especially when it comes to our, is it left-brainedness? How would you describe what it is that we have in common? What was it that we bonded over?
Just our extreme ADD, forgetfulness,
yes.
spacey stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was one story I'll never forget. It involved potato chips.
Yes.
What was that story again? Can we just start there?
Yeah, let's start there.
All right.
I was in my house eating potato chips in the kitchen, and I walked back to my bedroom. And at that time, in technology, Bluetooth earpieces were a thing.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And I saw one not only laying on the ground, but like laying in the very corner of the room in the middle of like spider webs. It was like nasty.
Okay.
For some reason, I had, in that moment, I was like, now would be a good time to pick that up. And so I still had chips in my left hand. And so I went and grabbed the Bluetooth, which was not small. These things were like It's like this big, you know, like
It was like the one you only have on one ear.
Yeah, totally.
The cyborg
so
look.
I picked it up with my right hand out of the corner of the room, and I put it in my mouth.
The thing
like
is,
immediately.
The thing is, people hear that and they're like, "Why would you do that?" But I get it. I know what it's like to do things that make no sense because your brain just sort of takes a little mini vacation and you do whatever stored in your RAM of your body. Like whatever, not to get too techie, but like if the last thing you did was put something in your mouth, it just does that. And then you come back from vacation, you're like, oh shit, I just put a Bluetooth headset. Oh man, we could just tell those stories.
Yeah, and I was just immediately disgusted and in disbelief and hysterical and couldn't believe it and could believe it. Yeah,
but
amazing.
On another level, the reason I wanted to have you on the podcast is because, not just because I relate to you on this, but I just think talking through a specific tension that you and I both face as creative people is so helpful. I think I've had a lot of feedback on this podcast. Every time I go anywhere in this general area is when I usually get the most comments. Like, oh man, I'm so glad you said that. I didn't know anyone else felt that way. And what I'm talking about is the tension of always wanting to do something brilliant or unique, always wanting to impress yourself with what you create, but living in a world in which to live, you have to do things that people pay you to do. Mm-hmm. And those they're not always the same thing. Yeah. And so here we are in our mid-40s, and we were just sitting down at dinner, and we were talking about how lucky we are for all these reasons, to have all these opportunities and have all these stories. And you have artwork hanging in, is it in London? Mm-hmm. With like the most famous artist work in the world, Annie Leibovitz. Who else did you say is in there?
Ansel Adams and Andy Warhol.
Yeah. You especially, you've had this unbelievable level of success in so many ways. And yet it's also easy to complain.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And be like, why don't I get to create what I want to create? Why does no one hiring me to do the thing that I really like to do, you know? So anyway, I want to talk about that. But we can talk about anything, honestly. I mean, that's how this podcast has gone so far. We just kind of started talking.
I love it.
But that's why I had you on here, because I think you're a very inspiring person. I think you're inspiring. I think you're funny. You don't think you're funny, but you are.
Thank you.
You do funny things. And you're just so talented, man. You're so talented. You're the what you do visually is always something I've never seen. And everyone's a photographer. I've seen cool photos. I've seen amazing photos. But you always do something that I've never seen.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Thank you for that. I just so your viewers know, like anytime I'm following you or watching you, I'm like, we are the same person in different fields.
Yes.
I know I've said that to you many times before, but you went on some rant recently on TikTok, and I'm like, I think I texted you. I was like, we need to be better friends because everything you said is my life. And then when you texted me that breakdown, because I asked you, like, give me an update. Yeah, and you gave me a full update on your life, and I was like, check, all the way down.
Well, you said something tonight at dinner that sort of summed that up, I think. You said it better. Well, you asked me, you said, what are you excited about right now?
Yeah.
And I said, I felt very free to be honest with you. I said, well, I think I have so much PTSD from being excited about things that don't really work out the way that I thought they would, that I almost don't let myself get fully excited outside of a moment. And then I said, what are you up to? And you're like, well, kind of everything and nothing.
Mm-hmm.
What did you mean when you said that?
I can go on the flip of a coin from feeling like out of date, overrated, my time has passed, I'm irrelevant, I'm old, I'm all these awful things, to in an instant, oh my gosh, everything is happening. I could not be more excited. I've got all the momentum in the world. My future's ahead of me.
What's the shortest amount of time both of those have happened in?
Oh, seconds. I mean, it's, yeah.
Like 5 minutes?
Yeah, for sure.
The curse, we've talked about this, the curse of being a creative person sometimes that wants to do something original is just that. Like, do you ever look at people? I look at my friend Mitch, who's an accountant. Sorry, he's not an accountant. Sorry, Mitch. He's a financial planner. Big difference. He's a financial planner, and everything's kind of like, he's in a groove.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He got certified.
Mm-hmm.
You know, became a partner in a firm. And I'm like, I wish I just wanted to do something that a lot of other people do. That looks nice.
Or they just made consistent money that just slowly went
predictable
up.
Money.
Instead of
You've made
this.
great money doing things.
Yeah.
It's the predictability in the creative field.
But it's never been consistent. Yeah.
Yeah. It's feast or famine.
Yeah.
So I wanted, if we may, I want to kind of go over some highlights over the last 10 years for you, though, because you've done some really cool stuff. Like the first time I saw you, or when I first got to know you, you were really into these, like, what would you call them? Where you were creating those. It was a mixed media thing you do in Photoshop, but like part of it was watching you and then seeing the time lapse.
Yeah.
Forgive me. What did you call that?
I didn't have a name for it. I guess just mixed media, live art. I think I was doing that at Catalyst, right?
Yeah. And then pretty much every musician in Nashville has had you do their photo by now.
Yeah, I've been doing that a long time. Yeah.
What are some of the bigger name people you photographed?
Tripp and Tyler. Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
Gosh, I don't know. I always get blank.
Those are amazing photos.
Yeah, we take some good photos.
Those are some of our best photos. The ones we did on the train track with the balloon.
That's right. Caution tape. At one point, we were trying to do the worst photo shoot ever by combining all the cliches.
Yes.
Caution tape and train tracks.
Amazing.
And yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, all the country artists, of course, I've shot Taylor early in her career. My favorite story is just this time I was hired to go shoot the first episode of a TV show, and so I went out there and hung out at this house all day, and I was like, I've never seen more disastrous of a family of a TV pilot like this. Like, what are they thinking? This is the worst.
What was it?
This is the worst thing I've ever seen. And it was episode one of the Kardashians. And I was just there all day, just with them in their living room like this, sitting on a couch with Kim Kardashian as she yells at her sister. And, you know.
And you thought this is not going to turn into anything.
Yeah, it was horrible. The first episode.
You have such good intuition.
And just recently, I was like, was that really episode one? I was like, surely it couldn't have been. And so I Googled it. And sure enough, that was the episode that I was there at their house. Very first. Kylie and Kendall were like 12 and 13. They were dancing on their parents' stripper pole in the bedroom. And I was like, yeah, this is not going to work.
You thought too highly of our culture.
Oh, no. Right? Yeah.
Oh, my God. And what other movies and TV shows have you shot? You just did Star Trek recently, right?
I did Star Trek this summer, which was amazing. My first big break was shooting a Prison Break for Fox way back in the day.
Prison Break.
Yeah. You remember that? The show was amazing.
That show was incredible.
It was so good.
One time I was at a hotel with Hannah, and 2 chairs over, was the guy that was the older brother.
Nice.
What was his name? You remember?
I know his real name, Dominic Purcell.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're like, is that the Prison Break guy?
Yeah. What's funny is I was in Africa, like literally, staying in mud huts when I got hired to shoot it. So somehow I found fast internet overseas, and I was able to download the show. I'm watching Prison Break, and you know how you get so ingrained in the plot, and you're
definitely in that show.
I flew straight from Rwanda to Dallas to shoot that show, and so I get straight to my hotel from Rwanda, and I'm on an elevator with like the 3 main cast members. I'm like, wait, you just cut off his hand, and you just, it was such culture shock going from Rwanda to America, but then being in an elevator with the cast whose finale I just watched on the airplane.
That's why. What were you doing in Africa at the time?
I forget. That was one of my early mission trips overseas.
Well, that's the other thing is you've always been a philanthropist. So
I like to.
You care about doing good things.
Just like, how can we? Yes, we need food and water and money and hands to rebuild, but we need new ideas. And so I'm like, how can I inject a new idea into this problem to see if I can tell a story in a new way? So, by the way, your viewers should know that my speech slurs due to my brain disease. And so
it doesn't seem slurry to me.
That nobody thinks I'm drunk like
you just sound kind of Nashville. Like you
so laid back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is something that I'm just learning about. There's this brain condition that you have. It's no joke.
It's no joke, yeah.
Like to be honest, you've kind of mentioned it, and that's so heavy that I kind of just wanted to let it just kind of get out there and move on to the conversation because I was like afraid of what I would find out. But then when I just saw you at the taco place, I noticed that you were kind of wobbly.
Mm-hmm. Very.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's just a neurological disease called Friedreich's ataxia that affects.
I'm sorry, you were slurring.
Friedreich's ataxia, and it causes. I literally feel like a drunk. So when I stand up, like it's like somebody's physically shaking my body. Cannot balance.
And this is all day, every day.
All day, every day.
Every time you sit up or stand up.
Yep.
How do you cope with this?
It's horrible. I mean, I can't play sports with my kids. I used to be athletic, believe it or not, and so I can't even like casually play sports. Like there is no coordination, just gone.
What is your family like? What's their reaction? Like they?
It's just we all just deal with it. I mean, I know my kids are sad about it. Like I used to be a really good basketball player, and I can't even like just shoot around, and like it's just gone.
When did this start?
I was diagnosed 7 years ago. First noticed symptoms in my early 30s. Wasn't diagnosed till 40. So I went my whole 30s, which is thinking I was a klutz. Just thinking like I'm really klutzy, and I would always apologize for it and laugh it off. And
is this why you put the AirPod in your mouth?
Maybe. Who knows? Could be.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. That's what a sucky thing to deal with.
It does suck, but it's also.
But the thing is, like, had you not mentioned it, I would have noticed you're wobbling, but it doesn't seem to slow you down in your desire to create and build things, and you're part of this technology company now. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it actually, I really do believe it's making me more creative. I feel like my creativity is thriving as I get older. My ideas feel better, more frequent, more, I don't know. Just feel like I'm getting more creative.
And you attribute that to the disorder?
I don't know. I'm just saying maybe. Yeah, something else.
Something just kind of got like knocked loose, and it opens you up creatively, but it makes it harder to walk?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
The funniest thing ever is that you slur trying to say the name of something that's already hard to understand that causes your slur.
No doubt. It's definitely hard to say it as is, but yeah, my slur makes it worse.
I'm also fascinated to hear about this technology company. This is the other thing about you, man. Like, you just do so many things and nothing, kind of. But the so many things are like you're creating, you're photographing, and then you've adopted a child. You're in Africa. You started this venture to build a hotel that was like very connected with social causes, and we can get to that. But then you're like, oh yeah, and I'm part of this technology company that we've already done deals with. What'd you say was the?
Well, a lot of the clients are under wraps.
Oops.
But yeah,
We'll beep that out.
That's okay. Yeah, I mean, I could just say everybody.
Pornhub.
Yeah, so exciting.
Okay, so we bleep that out, but describe what the technology is, because every time someone says I'm part of this tech thing, I take it with a grain of salt, and I'm like, it's all been done, but this is awesome.
Yeah, it's really exciting. So our tagline is "Bring the moment home." I'm not the founder. My buddy Spencer Combs founded the company, and Tripp Cushman, and we have a whole team of amazing designers and developers. But yeah, essentially fans can design their own merch at concerts or sporting events using the photos being taken at the event. But then the main thing we've been doing is allowing for the fans to scan a ticket from a game or concert. And when they scan the ticket in their hand, it comes to life through augmented reality, through AR, using our app.
Yeah, you showed me this.
Yeah.
So, in the 90s even, when you went to something, a concert, a sports event, keeping that ticket was a thing.
Yeah.
People pinned them on their bulletin board, you saved them, their keepsake, and now no one does that because it's all digital.
Yeah.
So now you've created this technology that is taking people back to paper tickets, but it's not just having a paper ticket. When you look at it through your phone, you're seeing highlights from the event.
Yeah. From the game, the concert.
What I would give
Right.
to go back to, what was my first concert? Audio Adrenaline?
Come and go with me into my father's house.
Some kind of zombie.
Oh my gosh.
No, like for real. Like, I went to Michael Jackson's last concert.
Wow.
If I had those tickets and I could scan them and see photos of me and like moments, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's exciting.
And you kind of blew through this, but I want to make sure we're really hearing that you can create your own, instead of standing in line for merch for 2 hours at a concert, which my wife just did at Taylor Swift 2 days ago.
Yeah.
2 hours. You can just access photos that the professional photographers are taking and create your own merch with photos from the concert that you were at, not just like the generic one.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, huge shout out to Spencer and the whole team at Event Shop.
That's
I'm
brilliant.
I'm very, very honored to be on the team.
What's it called? What's the
Event Shop?
Event Shop.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So tech, you've written a book, you're giving keynote speeches. What do you think it is about you that just keeps finding interesting things to do? And that sees them through? What is it?
Yeah, it's always funny in these scenarios how like cool and sexy it sounds and how awful the reality feels like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've told people before, I'm like, you may thought that video was funny, but I was having a miserable time the entire time we were shooting it. There was no laughing on set.
Yeah, I'm just like in context like this. I'm aware of like, how is it that you're so cool and you have all this cool? I'm like, man, misery. That's what it feels like.
But you're like an Enneagram 4, right?
You know, it's funny. I've always thought I was a 4, but I'm seeing a doctor right now that combines the Enneagram with Western meds. And so he had me take all the official tests.
So
and I tested off the chart 7. So I guess I'm a 7.
That's why we relate.
Probably, yeah.
I'm a 7 off the charts.
Of course.
Which means I always feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah.
I'm never happy. Like everything is not quite what I thought it would be. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But you have 4 vibes because you're such a artist.
I remember reading about the 4, that the 4 has an unnecessary need to be different. And I was like, holy cow, that's me. That has always been me. Not to be better than. Mm-hmm. There's no ego. I hope not. But I need to be different than everything else.
Mm-hmm. I actually relate to that. I score high on the 4.
Yeah.
I don't come across that way because usually 4s are more melancholy and you look at them and you're like, oh, that guy's definitely an artist. No one looks at me and thinks that. But I do struggle with putting my energy into anything that feels like it's been done before.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It feels like I'm selling my soul to the devil.
Exactly. I saw a meme the other day that said a haunted house for Enneagram 4s where everybody in the house is wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so funny. So I've never related to that in like my appearance really because I just don't have a good sense of that. But in what I create. Yeah. And it's cool because it helps, 4s end up doing unique things, but they're also plagued by avoiding things that they could do really well if they even falsely assume that it's been done before. And that's another thing I've had to learn as a creative person over and over again is that just because it seems like it's been done doesn't mean it's been done the way that I would do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very hard to get over that hump, but then you really think about anything that anyone's ever done and it's nothing super completely original. Mm-hmm. There's always something borrowed. When I think about anything that I enjoy that other artists make, whether it be music, it's never because it's completely original. It's because I like their version.
Yeah.
I like this singer-songwriter's version of being a singer-songwriter acoustic guitar guy. There's been a million of those, but I like this one.
Yep. So true. Good point. You do remember that?
Yeah. Like, there's... Yeah. Gosh, it's so late. I can't even think right now. I just want to be in bed.
I know. Same. We should have just done this.
In bed? Nah.
Trying to answer questions so I fall asleep. Oh my gosh.
But I had to. I don't know when I'll see you again. What are you excited about the most right now?
Man, I hate that it's gotten to a point where I feel like I have to be excited about what I feel like is maybe going to work. But that's just the truth. Mm-hmm. Like life is so stressful as a provider because my wife is not currently working, so it's like all on me. And so that sounds like the epitome of like sell out, but you just get to a point where it's like providing for your family trumps all anything else.
It does.
What is going to work? What's going to...
Yeah, and that sounds worse than it is because what you and I both, I assume you've realized as a dad, is that like you thought creating was the ultimate satisfying thing until you had kids. And you're like, okay, this sucks sometimes.
Yeah.
But like, I'd rather, if it came down to it, I'm going to succeed at this role.
Yeah.
But that's hard when you're the provider and you're the creative.
Yep.
And everything's expensive.
Yeah. So expensive. Good. I mean, that's the problem. I actually make decent money, but my overhead is so high with
same
a studio and 4 kids and 4 cars and a kid in college. And
oh my God, 4 cars!
A kid with special needs, and it just doesn't stop. and a brain disease. And like, I mean, I've got a very complex, hard life. And so, yeah, it's just, I mean, the good thing is, like, we were talking about both of us chasing lots of things right now. And I literally counted 9 things. That's not an exaggeration. Like 9, and it's not like 9 careers under the umbrella of photography. It's 9 umbrellas.
Yeah. No, it's like a tech company.
Yeah.
A hotel.
Yeah.
Photography. You've got this thing, like, you know, I don't even know what you call this, but you've got this ability to take like a gazillion photos of someone that are all completely different, lit differently in like an instant.
In a minute, yeah.
That's wild. You have a special brain, man.
I don't know. A special as in the negative kind, yes.
You're my best special friend.
That's what it
You
feels
said something,
like.
though. I didn't want to breeze by it. The most 7 thing that has happened tonight is both of us asking, what are you excited about?
Yeah,
because in our mind, if you're an Enneagram 7, and you know what? If you think the Enneagram's stupid and you don't like it, you don't care about it, shut up. Like, shut up. It's a helpful tool. You know, like it's not end all be all. It's a framework.
Yeah.
But it's helpful. Anyways, the thing about being a 7 is we feel like we have to be excited.
Yes.
We chase
Very
excitement.
much. Yep.
What else is there?
Yep.
Wow. What else would I ask a person other than what you're excited about?
Yep. Man, I have so many thoughts on that front. I'm excited about. I mean, all those 9 things, thankfully, are things that I'm excited about. Like I've told you, I buried this hotel dream last year, and now it's looking like it may have entirely new life. And so, if that happens, my excitement will appear. You know, it's like not there yet because I'll believe it when I see it. I'm excited about this new kind of talk that I might be doing. It's all about light. I don't even know that I told you the concept, but
You did.
Compare the human body to the camera body. And I just find a lot of fascination because I do work with literal light every day. And so the more I think about literal light, the more I think about figurative light. And so I just love the idea of getting out there and spreading that word. I'm excited to travel because I have been a homebody for so long that I'm excited to get out. I'm excited to make a lot of art that I want to be making right now. I was telling you that I have this path in the high-end fine art world that I haven't been pursuing. And so it's like, man, at what point do I go for it?
How do you pursue that? How do you pursue the fine art world?
Good question. Number one, you make art obsessively and you don't stop and share it and get it out there, which I have not been doing. I create every day. We're sitting literally in my creation station. But I get so bored. Is this a 7 thing where you check out of, like, you're excited about it, and then as soon as you've explored it, your excitement is gone, and it's till the next thing?
That's 7 and it's ADHD.
Yeah.
It's like novelty.
That is my biggest strength and my biggest weakness, hands down. I have abandoned so many successful things simply because I'm bored of it. Years ago, I think in 15, I launched an online education university.
I remember this.
Yeah, it made $1 million first year, and I shut it down immediately.
Because you were bored of it?
Yeah, literally couldn't do it. Like if I saw my face in another Facebook ad, I was gonna throw up and punch myself.
Well, I didn't make $1 million doing it, but I did go down that road.
Yeah,
and I started developing this online education idea. I was going to teach.
I remember that actually. Yeah.
And I couldn't even get through to finishing it before I realized, like, I don't want to be that guy on the internet teaching stuff.
That's exactly what I thought. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But I can't do it. I can't do it. I have things I could teach. Sure.
Yeah.
It wouldn't even be that hard. I could easily create it in my own studio. I have cameras. I can edit.
Yeah.
I can post this. I know how to market things. But then, this might be so silly, but I'm going to be vulnerable. I imagined people seeing an ad with me saying, check out this course. You know, it's $49 for the, and I imagine them going like, oh, the comedy didn't work out for him.
Yeah, totally.
He's selling courses now.
We are the same person.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying is why I stopped it. Everything you're saying. Yeah, I could not be that guy. Because, people do. But now...
But it's ridiculous, though.
I know. Oh, totally.
Because, like, no one else should be teaching the stuff you were teaching.
Yeah. Well, now, thankfully, it's commonplace. You've got master class, and now, like, everybody...
But now everybody's teaching it, and it's like, okay...
Yeah.
There's too much.
There's too much, yeah.
If I have another person come on my Facebook feed and tell me how to get 50 leads in 30 days or how to charge retainers for my video work, I'm going to punch someone in the xiphoid process.
Yep.
I don't know. Where is that? Is that here?
I have no idea. Sounds fancy.
You remember that? There's a bone in your body called the xiphoid process. No. Yeah. It's the only thing I remember like from really biology.
Hurt to be punched in it.
So,
dude, I could not be that guy. And
but you were, and you did great at it.
I was a really good teacher, and I can't tell you the regret I've had because now what's happening is all my colleagues, they kept doing that. They built this, they all sold them for millions of dollars. Now they're all like retired. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could have sold that platform. Yeah, that was stupid.
But here's the thing. I'm going to bring this full circle. I believe this. You don't have to. No one has to. I think we judge ourselves so easily. You look at the things that you could have done or maybe should have done. The paths you went down and then got bored of. The fine art opportunities that you're not taking advantage of. None of that fucking matters. Like, this is your path. This is what you do. You're the only you that will ever exist.
Yeah.
And what we need is the Jeremy Cowart that goes down this road and goes down that one. That's the beauty in your unique journey.
I've tried to get there. I've tried to accept that exact same thought. That, like, you know what? This is just who I've always been.
It's who you are.
And it's who I'm always going to be.
Yeah.
I'm just going to chase rabbits.
I think when you can get in on that joke, there's so much. When you can just, the way that we laugh at ourselves, when you talk about putting a AirPod in your mouth.
Yeah.
Oh, AirPod. The
Bluetooth.
The Bluetooth.
Yeah.
When you can get in on the joke of like, how funny is it that I made $1 million doing a course and got bored?
Yeah.
How funny is it that I have a piece of art hanging on a wall with Annie Leibovitz? How funny is it that I could easily just make money doing album covers if I wanted, but I don't want to. It's amazing. There's joy there.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. I completely agree. I would just say, but there's still the stress of like retirement and bills and money.
Right.
And
that's the problem.
Money.
I hate to admit it. Money is more important than I ever wanted to admit that it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was raised to believe that I can't admit that.
Yeah.
Money is just bad because it can be. It can rule your life.
Yeah.
But you're not talking about just being rich for the sake of being rich.
Right.
I think what people like you and I are looking for is just some predictability, just the ability to kind of
breathe. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we'll be able to pay for the 4 cars and the college. And if things don't work out great this year, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's really about stress and freedom. And that's what money gets you.
Yeah, totally.
So here's to making $1 million this year on your next course.
Absolutely. What's funny is that I really am in the process of, I've got a team rebuilding a thing. But I will say that I am very proud of what I built with this room, because I wrote a list, and there really are. And now I'm justifying all this, but I will say this: I've just gone down all the paths of clients. I've told you the story. Clients, I do something no one else does. It's not working. Okay, so fine art world. I do something that nobody else does. That's a hard, long game path. Okay, so public, I do something nobody else does. Public loves it, but it's still not really working the way I want it to. And so I feel like I've literally spent now 15 years creating something that to this moment, nobody in the world does. And so I'm like, what do I do with this thing? I can't figure it out. And so finally I'm like, I launched 3 workshops a couple weeks ago, and they all sold out right away. I was like, you know what? People want to know.
They do.
They want
You're
in
the
my
best
brain
person for it.
And so, yeah, fuck it. I'm going to
just do it.
Just put it out there and teach it, because I don't know what else to do with it. And if other people want to know how to do it, then I'll teach it. No problem.
Yeah. See?
And then it'll make money and it'll be successful, and then I'll hate myself and regret ever doing it, and the cycle continues.
But I know you're gonna say, yeah, but you're gonna argue this, but all those things that you said didn't work the way you wanted them to, they worked. Like, look at this. You have this amazing studio with proprietary technology. You've got a $100,000 LED wall that was given to you. You've got how much is that TV out there? That LG 15 grand transparent TV that I've seen only like Linus Tech Tips talk about on YouTube. You were given to you. You've got art hanging in a museum. You've got, like, what are you talking about? It's working.
Yeah.
You've got a family that loves you.
Yeah.
That they probably like their life. Your kids probably like their life. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe they don't, but I bet they do.
They do. Yeah.
So you win.
Yeah, you're right.
You win.
Yeah. Man,
and I'm just preaching to the choir, because like I just want someone to tell me that, you know. Yeah. But from the outside looking in,
yeah,
you've done it.
And I do feel the same way about you. Yeah, look at
of course you're gonna say that now.
No, it's just true. Like, we see each other that way. We see our wins, and I even feel like I put out the heavy stuff on social media. But I mean, you're right. Like, it sounds so cliche, but we have food every day. We have a roof over our heads, and
you live in a time and a place where you can even dream about what it would look like to do even more or better.
Right. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
So my takeaway from this conversation, this has been a really good reminder. Just hearing you say things that are so similar to the kind of thoughts I have, and also being able to go, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, it's I'm leaving very motivated to take more inventory of what is working. I mean, look at us, man. Look at this fancy, cool couch. We're just doing a podcast because we can.
Right. Yeah. Even though it's late.
It's late. Yeah. I'm going to listen back to this and be like, where was that even going? What was I saying? That's okay. I'm not doing this for any other reason than I just enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I think you've done it, man. I think you live an inspiring, creative, full life. And certainly you have not been short on struggles and challenges from your mental condition. I know you lost a brother not too long ago. I guess it was 10 years ago. And, you know, like you faced all the things that ambitious, creative people face, like never quite getting, but like you're doing it.
Yeah. Means a lot. It is good to be reminded of that for sure.
But I know you don't hear it. I mean, I know you don't. You're still gonna.
Yeah, tomorrow
You're gonna be
wake up,
sad
everything
tomorrow.
is awful. Yeah.
You're gonna be sad. It's just how it is. But that's part of it. Like
yeah.
as sevens, like we got to realize, okay, being sad's part of it.
Yeah. Totally.
Anyway.
Look at us with our matching watches. Get the vibe.
Matching watches. We had the same phone case. But let's very different vibes going on here. Let's I'm done.
We're tired.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Good night.
Yeah, you too.